Yo guys, what's up? How's it going? It is Sunday. It is the end of the week, and to round the week off on stream, we're going to be carrying on with these Blood Angels. We did all the washes yesterday's stream. Everything got washed. All the base coats had been done, which means now it's highlight time, and that's much, much more fun thing to do. Crooked Grin, thank you very much for that host. In the chat, we've got, obviously, the Crooked Grin, Muad'Dib, Toonie Sprues, Lulu, Stu Flynn, Drunk Mystic, Scrublord, Dats and Des, and Viking. How's it going, folks? Timmy, cheers for the host, dude. And Stu Flynn as well. Much appreciated. Spleen, what up, bro? Alright, so those of you that have seen the How to Paint Blood Angels video will know what's coming up next. We've got our Chaos Red base. We've got a Flash Gits Yellow. And we get a nice mix of these in a 2-to-1 ratio. Pro Jam. And then we get to it. That's simple. Got lots and lots of red to highlight. So much red. But they are, of course, Blood Angels, therefore, many red. Red ones go faster. That is apparently true. So, I think Jackie finally last night was like, "You're fucking weird." I say finally because, you know, it's been a while, and I think now she realised. But when I explained why I was doing what I was doing, she understood, and most importantly, was supportive of this. This is fine. We like to go for a walk. Lee, how you doing, bro? But I'm in good company with that, right? We like to go walking. So, we normally walk about 5 to 7 miles, depending on what day it is, what the weather's like, you know, things like that. And last night was a little bit shorter than usual because Jackie had gone for a walk earlier on in the day as well, just to get out of the house. So, we're out walking. I walk past this car, and I'm like, oh, hang on, I need to take a photo of that. I turn around, and I look at the car, and I'm pointing at the bonnet, and she looks at the bonnet, and it's just like a shitty silver, like, Astra, basically. Why? I'll tell you in a minute. Took a couple of photos of the bonnet, because on the bonnet of this car there were these massive like bits of paint that had been peeled up. And I'm like, this is going to be exactly what I want for the Orc vehicle we're doing. This effect, this is right. And at that point, that's when I think she's like, that's weird, but I understand. To cry some more, dude. 4 months now. Happy to be here, mate. Thank you very much, brother. Really appreciate it. So let's get to it. Let's get these highlights done. Who's had a good weekend? When we weren't out for a walk, we went last night. We went this morning as well because the weather was lovely. We put together a box insert, like an organizer for Gloomhaven, which I picked up the other day. And I've played it before with Ben. We had a little group way before COVID was even a thing, which kind of fell apart a little bit, and then he played it with his mates until COVID was a thing, and then had to stop. But I picked that up so that we've got something to play, because we're running out of expansions for Arkham Horror that we can play. And I bought an organizer for it, and it was not a cheap organizer, but it's worth it, because anyone that's ever played that game understands the setup time is mighty. It's called Primary Research Lab. I did it all the time in art college. Who are you calling love? Wraith! How's it going, brother? Okay, like don't have this like set in stone. but I'm hopeful, and this might be false hope, so again, not set in stone, but I'm hopeful to have these finished by this time next week. Subject to power cuts, editing going wrong, Vimeo not uploading shit, and so on. But I'm hopeful. I have a confession. You got me hooked on this big, daft, expensive hobby. Trying to get my head around what the basic equipment is so just get started. Need to learn, practice the basics towards building a Dark Angels army. Nice. Very nice. Admittedly, a lot of what I do is very airbrush-centric. And so it's not necessarily aimed at beginners. But there is a Dark Angels video, how to paint Dark Angels, I put up on YouTube, that has done really well, actually. It's had getting on for, I think, 1,400 views now, which is pretty amazing for my channel of very few people. Look at what a difference a highlight makes. Look at the difference between that and that. Just, so good. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. One of the guys in the SN chat was asking about Dark Angels videos the other day, so I sent him that, and he was very happy with it. I think he's doing basically exactly the same thing. These Dark Angels he's about to paint for a potential no retreat entry next year. So fingers crossed, does him well. Cold beer, Chinese takeaway, Warhammer and Jay. What an awesome night. I've got a cold beer as well, but I felt like some dessert after dinner. But I didn't want a heavy dessert. So I figured, like, Dunk61, cheers for the follow. I figured a blueberry muffin. The beer's called Muffin Else Matters. That's so cool. So yeah, this is what we've got for our dinner tonight: blueberry pastry stout. Spleen, I'm really glad you've been enjoying the videos, mate. Like, honestly, really am. I do these videos hoping that someone finds them useful, and when people say that they do, like, it genuinely makes me happy, because I know it was worth it then. The time and the effort. But yeah, we spent all weekend putting this Gloomhaven insert together. We watched the entirety of WandaVision while doing it. And still didn't finish it. Fucking hell. I thought assembling Warhammer was hard. Whee. You're on the mead. Oh yeah. Nice. Very nice. Another thing we learned, make sure the lid's on the bottle before you shake it. I mean, that's a good bit of life advice. I'm glad I could help out with that. I know clearly not the only person that was going to struggle with such a daunting task. And it fills my heart with joy to know that at least one other person in the chat is now no longer going to have to live in fear of that moment because of the instructive example that I gave. However, can confirm, does wash out of jeans, doesn't wash out of t-shirt. Not sure why. Not sure why. To cry some more, if I'm honest, it's because I put up a lot of videos, so the streams go up, so there's always a record of the streams. And the streams don't do very well in viewers because it's not live content anymore, and so you don't get a lot of view time for it. We get a lot of people that I know watch it for the work in progress gallery at the end, but that's it, which means that they watch it for a little bit of feedback on a mini that they've painted. And then... Brilliant, Viking, well done. Yeah, there you go. Des has literally put it out. So, if you put up a video and the video gets like 500 views, say, on a small channel, that's good for you, right? And so YouTube will go, well, this is doing very well in comparison to your normal stuff. So we'll promote your other stuff just a little bit outside of your like zone. And then when your next video goes up, and let's say that's a stream recap, like a VOD from Twitch, that might only get 25 views, and that might only get 25 views for an average of 5 minutes, 7 minutes a person, which means that in YouTube's eyes, oh, your next video is shit, so we're not promoting you to anyone other than your subscribers. That's it. So that's the downside of putting the stream videos up. I'm not overly fussed about it because I'm not really worried about monetizing YouTube. It exists there as a way for me to hopefully drive content towards Twitch. And obviously, you know, business head on towards Patreon. Would it be nice if I could and have another revenue stream for the business? Yes, obviously. Is it likely at 1,000 subscribers for that to happen? No, not really. So, George, how you doing, bro? I'm doing well. I also now understand the "this is the way" comment. I haven't watched all of it. I think I've just finished episode 4 of season 1. So now I understand that this is the way. Funny Amando fan. To be honest, dude, I watched it before the second season came out. I started watching it thinking it must at least be okay if it's getting a second season, despite it being Star Wars, so it's probably just going to get a second season anyway. And they have put out a lot of shit. But it was because Jake basically said, look, you'd really like it. It's kind of cowboys and stuff, but in space. You'll be fine. And I really enjoyed it. But this is the J, yeah. I can't watch it while I'm painting because it's too interesting. I think it's very well done. I think the special effects are really cool. And whilst I don't really understand much of what's going on in the story at the moment, I get why Baby Yoda is a thing. Aside from the obvious, it's Disney. Of course, there's a fucking Baby Yoda somewhere. But I understand why he's important, at least. It's Yoda, right? I mean, that's got to be it. But yeah, I can't just have it on and paint because I'm just looking at the screen. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing, right? For YouTube to actually like push your content anyway, you need to do at least 2 uploads a week. And so that would involve me doing 4 videos for YouTube in the space I currently do 1. And that's not achievable. If my entire full-time job was making YouTube content, I'd be able to do it. But I can't. like editing takes a day. So that would be 2 days a week editing just for YouTube. Then I'd need to spend probably... Well, in that 2 days, I could probably also get a Patreon video done that week as well. So if that was all I did and I didn't do commissions, I could do it. But obviously we need to be in a very different place to where we are now to be able to just like stop doing commissions. You know, even getting a third. I figured it might do. It's not all OP lightsaber twice, which is nice. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it before. I enjoyed it, but because I couldn't watch it in paint, I just never got around to finishing it. Also, I didn't have Disney Plus, so it was a case of watch it through other means. And I've now got Disney Plus because I wanted to watch WandaVision. So I figured, whilst I've got it for a month, because I'm not keeping it, right? We will have a look. Why are you growling like a dog, Viking? Can I use the Patreon videos for YouTube? I can. And I know that's what a lot of people do, is they will like give you sort of early access to a video on Patreon, and then it'll come out for free a week later on YouTube. And there's every possibility that happens at some point very far into the future. But that's certainly not my plan at the moment. Because I know a lot of people are a video viewer because they like to support me, and I am extremely thankful for that. Like, I still don't think it's real, frankly, that I'm at a position in my life where that is a thing that happens. But for me, I feel there probably have to be a reason for someone to subscribe to Patreon. And having that content that you can only get there is probably quite a powerful reason for most. So, and Kareem, how you doing, bro? Oh, mate, I'm gonna see you soon. Fucking spent all evening talking about the LGT. Like a load of mates are going. They're trying to get tickets for various different events that are going on. I know you're gonna be there. Strata! How you doing, brother? Buzz for it. You and me both, dude. You and me both. This time, I'm gonna get my shit together. We're gonna win. I've seen your lists. The only downside to the list that you guys are bringing is that it's you two playing them. Like, Frosty! How you doing, brother? Good to see you, my friend. What's up? Michael Buffer, move out the fucking way, right? Cheers, Polly. Hey, we got to get the hype here, man. I feel I don't get to talk to Chris very often these days, so let's make a big fucking show of it when he turns up, yeah? How's your stream, fella? What are you up to? Mo got a far better voice than Chris, that's for sure. Oh, that's right. Me and Frozin. It's gonna be a sing-off. everybody loses. OSL on the menus. Nice. Very nice. We got the Silent King about 60% done over the Necronathon, but we've got so much more to do. So our plan with that now is to finish it at the end of the month, rather than work on a Death Watch on that weekend stream. Is to just grab the Necrons back out and really try and finish those off. So that is the plan. If the plan comes to fruition, you get a duo back on. I'll give us some events soon. I don't need an event at Warhammer World, mate. I like playing with terrain. However, I am booked to go to an event on June the 26th, I think, at the Glass House in Telford. The Glasshammer lads, Manny and Dan, put on a 2-day event. I think it's still GT, not Major. And yeah, gonna be fun. With discount, 36 quid a ticket, lunch included. Like, you fucking kidding me? God, it's one of the first tournaments you can buy tickets for this year. And if I'm honest, I'd have bitten somebody's arm off for that ticket, you know? And then there's like casually announced about half the price they could be charging anyway, and they're throwing in your lunch. Manny is a boy. Absolute boy. But yeah, I'd be up there with Nick McDade. And when he wins Best Army, you better give me the prize. Those very sexy looking Dark Angels we painted for him. Success! Thank you very much, bro. 25th, 26th. You coming, Tim? Need some salt for that arm. Oh, like this? This is one of my girlfriend's cats we play fight. So, and then you got all my Marines ready and built, and I'll be doing Mostar Weekendathon. Nice. Nice. Wait, hang on. I thought you were doing a thing. Tank. Sakaran. The cat. Mate, she doesn't break the skin. She's a good girl. No, she's got... Unfortunately, some of you know Mr. Pigs, and some of you know that he passed away very recently. That was one of Jackie. It's my other half. It's one of her cats. And she still has Fizz and Bina. Bina is this like long-haired tortoiseshell looking thing, and Fizz is this fucking chunk of a cat. It's got a big fucking meat head, and then the body sort of goes shoulders, belly, butt. So this thing's like, fuck. What the shit? Glass Joe! Brother, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's get some love in the stream right now for this utter crazy bastard. That is very, very kind of you, man. Very kind of you. Just casually throws 20 subs into the stream. Damn, son. Absolute superstar. Break the stream. Break the stream. Yeah, Two Christs and More. Glass Joe is basically Oprah Winfrey. Sorry, not sorry. You ass. Everybody that's just been given a sub. Be Right Back, Girlfriend Aggro, Rhino 72, Malat 1, Time Warp Comics, S Farrell 7, Wolf Child, FNH, Soulless Buddha, Kingfisher Games, AT Roger, Goliath Games TV, Never Too Many Socks, Odin's Wolf, Berserker Rex, Vospa CA, Slanesh Donkey, don't know about that one, Laura Tham, Haku Dumaro, Nikki J, Diamondo 1986, and Zach 2244. All you guys have just been given subs by the great Glass Show, who is a streamer. So definitely give that guy a follow if you don't already. Bro, I wasn't going to open this until I finish my water, but just for you, I'm going to toast you with a beer. Des, no idea, man. Cheers, pal. That is so weird. So, this is what we have. It's called Muffin Else Matters, which is brilliant. It's so funny. Simple things, right? Simple things. But Glass Show, again, my friend, thank you very, very much. Honestly, dude, too generous. And legendary. Fucking legendary. Sarai, where were we before this? You're great, mate. He's just gone live. Awesome. Everyone, go give him a follow. You say I'm a great streamer. I feel I'm at least an adequate streamer, but that's probably about the end of it. So, thank you, dude. Massive thanks. If you're still streaming when we finish tonight, guess who's getting raided? But Chris, you were saying you want to do a Marine 2-day paint-a-thon. Nice. Good luck. I do hope you're not going to use an airbrush, seeing as you viciously accused me of cheating with that. Reiner, yeah, Reiner got us up. Reiner comes here every now and again. He's a good lurker. But no, with regards to the raid, I was just talking about, obviously, mate, Glass Joe. Gumballina, thank you for that host. Wait, hang on, no, Chris. You were like, tell me he's cheating, he's using an airbrush. He's cheating. Yeah? Real men just use brushes. I heard all manner of slanderous abuse being reported on by your chat. I won't have it. Clash Show, I totally know, man. Honestly, I know. But if you are still streaming when we finish, we're gonna get you some views. Faux show. No, I should never say that. I should never say that again. I'm not Jonah Hill. I can't get away with that. Competing, yes, when you do it for yourself. Wow, I love how you're trying to actually float that. Like, so airbrush is only cheating when there's some sort of competition. I don't follow that at all. Yeah, there you go. Do the whole thing. Size double O. That's right. God, I bet you're even going to dry brush them, aren't you? The only people that say airbrushing is cheating are the people that don't airbrush a lot. Because they're the ones that will get the airbrush out, have a go for 5 minutes, it'll clog because they haven't cleaned it properly, and then they won't have much fun airbrushing, and they'll be adamant that airbrushing is cheating from that point onwards. Hey, I painted a marine beautifully with an airbrush. Alright. That's not cheating at all. Besides which, I seem to remember, Mr. Frozin, that at a certain point when painting your marine, you got the airbrush out. So, clearly not a man of conviction right there. Yeah. Fucking glass houses, throwing stones, all that. So yeah, you go. Get back in your fucking box, right? Airbrush is cheating. Psst. What was that noise, Chris? Nothing. Comradeson! What up, bro? It's only cheating when Jay does it. Now that's what we're getting at, right? That's what we're getting at. It's like, it's okay unless you're Jay. The Dark Pharaons. Okay. This is your marine chapter. Tell me more. Would you like to know more? Yes, actually, for the first time, I would. Got so many highlights on these bikes. Trillion bits of highlighting to do. So when do I have such a high-pitched voice, lol? Wait, does he not have a high-pitched voice? I just like mute his streams and overdub it with my own voice, so I don't actually know what he sounds like. I totally don't do that. Wouldn't that be funny? To cry some more. Honestly, I can totally understand that. Like, I've had people before now at events where I've taken best painted, say where they think is out of earshot. Oh, he shouldn't have fucking won. He's only got to paint 4 models. He can use an airbrush. Right. Okay. Firstly, yes, I did only have to paint 4 models because I played knights. Secondly, they're fucking beautiful. Shut up. Thirdly, yes, I used an airbrush, but I didn't just use an airbrush. So I get it. Like, people have this weird prejudice against the airbrush. But like I was saying, mostly I found. This has been my experience. This is not a fact. This has just been my experience before anyone gets aggy. That the people that have a bit of a rant about airbrushing being cheating and so on just can't do it themselves. Now I need a restream with Jay dubbing Chris's stream. No. No. There's a line I ain't crossing. Faces and bases, what up? I don't mind the bikes, honestly. There are a trillion highlights to do because of the amount of like extra bits going on. And some of them are a little tricky to get to because you can't really do these in sub-assemblies, which is a pain. So, use the paintbrush, that's cheating. Oh, damn it, that's cheating too. It's Strata, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Get the big yellow machine in there. No, cheat. Can't do it. Cheating. I'm assuming this is a ground level trampoline then? So you're digging out a hole so it sits in flush with the ground? Speaking of digging holes, this is a weird segue, but it is awesome. I recently stumbled across a YouTube thing of like I want to say Southern Central American dude who builds houses underground by digging them out with what's basically a sharp bit of metal on the end of a stick. That's it. And then makes swimming pools underground and stuff like that. And it's all sped up, and all you see is this dude and his mate just like, and the next thing you know, fucking swimming pool. What? What? It's absolutely fucking madness. Cakefist, I know people who have like won best painted and they haven't painted their army, and they've like taken the prize, and not just taken the prize. That's fine. You've paid for the army; it's yours. But have taken the credit, and that's odd for me. Like, I couldn't do it if I was playing with an army that somebody else had painted, and I won best painted. I'd either have to say, right, that's very cool, but I didn't paint these, so like the prize goes to so and so, or I would just have to decline it. It's like sorry, mate, I didn't paint these. I can't win that. Would it bother me if somebody took my paint job and won best painted and I didn't get credit for it? No, not really. Like, they've paid for the army, that's all they ever owed me. Would it be nice? Yeah, of course. Would I expect them to give me the prize? Fuck no. Never. Never. Yeah, let them just do their thing. So the most Marines boxes come with all the chapters transfers, just common ones. They normally just have the Ultramarine one in there. Unless you buy like an Indomitus set or something like that, like one of the sort of start boxes for an edition rather than for just a faction. At that point, you normally get a transfer sheet that's got like Space Marine generic ones, and some Ultra ones, some Blood Angels, Wolves, Dark Angels, the main ones. Mensa Nurse, what up, dude? You can, but pop it in Discord, the Relian. Go into the work in progress gallery in there and set it up in that. And towards the end of the stream, probably about an hour and a half or so, we'll be going through the work in progress gallery. If you can't stay on, let's say you've got to get an early night in or whatever, then watch back the VOD on YouTube. So every stream, as soon as it's finished, I upload a video to YouTube. Last week, one of them uploaded 5 times. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but it did. But they're always up, and you'll be able to go and watch your part of the whip gallery and get your feedback that way. So don't worry, always have the chance to see it. I swear, it took not much longer than it's going to take to do this, to do the highlights on the Impulsor. Which is mental when you think about it. I'm going to do Salamanders, not Smurfs. Normally, there's a Forge World transfer sheet. So you can almost always get like an entire page of that chapter's transfers. However, they might be the 30k version instead of the 40k version. So depending on what your chosen chapter has done in the last sort of 10, 11,000 years or whatever, there may be some that you either can't use or are no longer like official, I guess is a word, not the best word, but a word. No longer canon, no longer codex compliant, whatever. So it's worth a look though. And then if not, there are some people out there that do third-party transfer sheets. The Mighty Brush, I've never used theirs, but I know they do a lot of like custom transfer sheets, like bespoke stuff. So that might be worth a look as well. I kind of want to get a transfer sheet that's full of just like long bits of script. Archon Castles, how you doing, bro? I haven't seen Mikey's. So I watch Coffee Time on a Monday during my admin Mondays when I have a coffee break, because on a Sunday I spend time with my girlfriend, and I try not to even look at my phone on a Sunday as well. So, but yeah. So we'll watch that tomorrow. I know it was to do him and Innes, who's great. He's a fucking good lad, Innes. They did Mikey helped do a video of the community poll that Innes created. In the Hellstorm chat, there's a little bit of feedback about it, which is that at times they were both chatting over each other. But I'm sure it's not so bad. Solomon's Primaris upgrade kit with the arms and accessory. It is. So all of the chapters that have a codex supplement have a upgrade sprue. It's not always a Primaris one. For instance, a Deathwatch one isn't. And on there you would normally get some shoulder pads for Marines, shoulder pads for Gravis armor, or Terminator armor if it's not the Primaris one. And then like some weird accessories to sort of jazz up your sergeants to make them look a little bit more like a Salamander sergeant in this case. So like a brazier or something. Mentioners, all this is, and it looks fucking beautiful, doesn't it? But it's literally one coat of paint and a wash. This is some Vallejo Model Air Metallic gunmetal with a wash of about 3-to-1 dark tone to water over the top. So you just slap it on real thin, and you get a nice metallic sheen. It's a good base coat for metals, and it really looks the part under proper lights, doesn't it? But it's nothing. It's no work whatsoever. So Stoofling, you've used Mighty Brush's stuff. Nice. Good to know that somebody has, and they've got a decent result out of it. Because I keep seeing his stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, well, it looks good. And I've sort of looked through his product catalog, and there's never been anything there that I've like needed. But always stuff I thought, it looks alright. Like this event around Easter, it's 1,500 points. I feel I'll never go with knights. What kind of competition is good at that point? So I've got 3 knights, 2 armigers at the moment. That gives a suit. No, you can definitely get 1,500 out of that. Take 3 crusaders. Like, I'm assuming you're playing the incursion missions, not the strike force missions. And I imagine those missions are like hold 1, hold 2 when it comes to objectives. Probably not hold 2, hold 3. And with Triple Crusader, you'll just dunk on stuff. You can give each one thermal cannon, the Gatling cannon, Ironstorm missile pod, and I believe you'd even have 5 points for a melter gun to replace the heavy stubber that goes up here. The melter gun is so much better than the heavy stubber. It's currently, per wounding hit, better than the thermal cannon, which is dog shit. I hate it. However, the Book of Rust, GW have announced not a release date, but that it is coming very soon. And in the Book of Rust, there are going to be rules for playing Imperial Knights as a Freeblade army. And I'm really hoping that they update the weapons. Not necessarily the data sheet. That I can wait for the codex for. You know. It is what it is. I don't need extra rules for the knights themselves. As much as I'd love them to have some obsec mechanic, that would be great, because fuck me, it would make my life so much easier. I don't need that right now. What I do need, though, is guns that work and melee weapons that are at least as good as a Marine Power Fist, because right now they're not. Like, some lad with a lumpy hand will hit harder than my knight on average, because Power Fists are now -3 flat 2, and my Stampy boy is -2d3. So I really need my weapons to come up in line with everybody else's. And that thermal cannon had better absolutely strip a Eradicator's gun to pieces. So you should avoid CC. No, you definitely shouldn't. You should play as House Krast, and you should charge forward. Krast has, for me, always been the best house. Even when Raven was what was being played, Krast always seemed like the most logical choice, because the way Krast works is it takes your knights and it turns them all into gallants as well as whatever they are. So in close combat, you reroll all failed hits, and it's failed hits, not all hits. So if there's a -1 to hit and you roll a 4, you can't reroll that. Sorry, and you roll a 3, you can't reroll that. One club-handed boy. Exactly, Brett. Exactly that. Look at my fat hand. He thinks he's Hellboy. I mean, we'll let him off that, but come on. But yeah, take Krast. You reroll all those hits in combat. Well, that effectively does, like I said, it turns you into Gallant. If you have a Krast Crusader, it has 12 attacks in combat, hitting on 3s, re-rolling, which means that on average you're going to hit 11. If you have a Gallant from any other household, it will have 15 attacks hitting on 3s, and therefore will likely hit 10. So you'll get more hits than a Gallant from any other household in combat. It's mad. And that gives you this multi-purpose engine of death. And that's why they're so good. Endless Fury is great. I take Endless Fury every single game. I no longer take Headsman's Mark. I haven't since people started having to write all of their stuff on their roster. Because obviously when you would pick relics at the table, there was that element of tailoring your army to your opponent. But at the Hellstorm events, the last one I went to, and they would always have put down full relics, warlord traits, and psychic powers on your roster. I had no issue with that as long as everyone had to do it for everything. So we take Headsman's Mark because the meta at the time was a lot of vehicles. Iron Hands were right up there, and so you'd have to. But in 9th, I don't take it at all. And it's a phenomenal relic. Knights count as one model without obsec, mate. So you need to wipe out everything that's there. Make sure that when you finish your turn, your knight is in a position to heroically intervene against anything that goes towards that objective. So, because your base is gigantic, you can literally stand right on the middle of the objective. For them to get within 3 inches means they're well within 3 inches of you, so you can intervene in. Now be careful because they can pile in around you and get more on the objective and so on if need be. So, very much think about your pile-in move and your heroic intervention move and basing people if you can. But if you do that, the first time they go onto the objective and try and take it off you, and you heroic intervene, they'll be like, and now I realised I fucked up. Chainswords won't be getting hazard stripes, mate. Like if they were my own, I would absolutely. But these are commission piece, and that wasn't part of the specs. So box art was what we've been advised to go with. So black weapons for blood angles. We've got a lot of chainsaws to do as well, so I'm kind of half glad because that's a lot of extra time, which obviously then translates into additional costs, In AOS, big models ignore terrain. No, not at all. In fact, knights get completely boo-fooed by terrain. Because you are exposed, therefore you can't count as obscured at any point, but people count as obscured against you. You never receive a -1 to be hit from dense terrain, yet everybody else does against you. And so there's many things that we suffer from with that. It is what it is, right? Brett, most likely I say most likely, the one that I've run them as so far is Relentless Expansionists. Because it's so good. Like, having that extra 6-inch move at the start of the game is mega. That's for free, essentially for free. Move up to 6. Remember, it's up to 6. Necron Warriors move 5, and you don't get a command phase to buff it to 6. So, having that move is awesome. Because I play with a lot of Scarabs. Because essentially, Brett, I've gone from an army with absolutely no chance of holding a lot of objectives at one point, to an army that just goes might, and takes everything. So having Scarabs that in pre-turn 1, you shunt up the board 6 inches, then a 10-inch move, which is always going to be an 11-inch move, so I'm almost always going to advance them, up to a 16-inch move to get me wholly within table quarters, wholly on top of objectives, after giving them a 5-up invuln, and so on, is remarkable. Haggis Hunter, how you doing? And yeah, no obsec to double obsec. I really enjoy playing with them. Like, the way I describe the army is a chokehold. It's not a knockout punch. You're never going to go into the ring with it and like just annihilate somebody unless they're terrible, in which case it doesn't matter anyway, right? But what you are going to do is you're going to get in there, you're going to put on a chokehold, and it's going to be like nice and snug at the start, and it's not going to like be very threatening. And then towards turn 4, turn 5, when their lights start going out because they've noticed. You went for a spin. Beyblade Bike. Your points are here because you've matched primary, and theirs are here because they've not scored much on it. Yeah, it's big. Played Nick with his Dark Angels and basically won through that. Played Ben and his Death Guard, and Mortarion was rinsing units. Mortarion decked a unit of 20 Necron Warriors a turn. Every turn. Through like Blight Grenades, because they're blast, and then some Psychic, and then swinging hits with a Scythe. So yeah, he was destroying me. But I maxed my primary. he got maybe 30 points on it, even with last turn scoring. And I didn't have any of my key units on the table. I had the Nightbringer, who's really good. Like, really good. I like the Nightbringer a lot. He's ever so slightly too expensive to include in a lot of lists now. Not that he's not worth the points. He is. I just mean that extra 20 points you find that you needed quite often. Didn't have the Silent King. So it's not like we had the A tier or S tier list out of the Codex, right? It was just a good list. Silvertide, plus a Nightbringer, plus some characters. No, Wraith, a load of them, all the troops do. And that's it. To be fair, though, that's kind of all you'll ever get now with OBSEC. Because that's what's written in the rulebook. Anything that's in the troop slot gets objective secured. That is the way. God, I can't wait to paint 10 of these in my Death Coach. Bantless Arms, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream. How's your day been? No box good. Like, no box that... look, in 40k, it's weird, and I don't understand it, because do your reading and think, and that think part is the important part. Slash Donkey, what up, bro? You got gifted a sub earlier on by Glass Joe, so you know, huge thanks to him. Yeah, anytime a book comes out, anytime some rules come out, people are very much like, oh, this is no good, this is no good, oh, I don't think it's very good. And then you get someone that is a pro player, or that plays at a very high level, take one of the rules for like a faction, like a dynasty, like in this case, or a unit, and really does something with them, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Every single person was, oh, and it's got to be Relentless Conquerors. That's the best list ever. You'll never beat that. And then Rich ran Novak Warriors, and everyone just went, because they're great. They are good. Just for me, I'm having fun with the OBSEC right now, and like I said, that complete chokehold on the game. Just, I've got all the points. You can't have them. They're mine. While the Silent King blasts people to death with his menhirs, giving me Code of Combat, or whatever it's called, points for a secondary. Is solid. There's 3, Brett. There's a third one, which not many people know about, which is triple Transcendent Catan. And we're going to pick up 3 like slightly different looking 3D printed minis, because the Transcendent Catan are on 60mm bases. And so what I'm thinking is pick up like a Fire Demon, a Frost Demon, and then something else. I don't know. To be like Elemental Catan. I think that would be absolutely sick. And we'll do those as a weekend paint. Toxic Demon. Toxic could be cool. Could be cool. Want to avoid the it's a shit demon moment from Dogma, but yeah. But that's my plan with that. You've got a lot of freedom on a 60mm base. Like a hell of a lot of freedom. There's even the Creature Caster style Nightbringer mini at that point. You can't use it as Nightbringer because the base is 60 fucking mil. But is that Pokemon. Getting Nagash Star thing done, but with stones around it. Earth Elemental Demon. Nice. Carrot Cake. Love Carrot Cake. Right, that's taken an hour to do all the edge highlights on that. When I filmed it, to do all the edge highlights on that, it took the same time. So, there you go. You wanna paint tanks that look like that? On Patreon now. How to paint marine tanks. And I don't just mean in Blood Angels. I mean, you can paint any marine vehicle like that. Not even just tanks. Flyers, dreadnoughts. The theory is exactly the same. We explain that in the video. It's all there. What edge? The ones you can fucking see. Out. Demon Waffle stomping a Space Marine. Brilliant. MC, what up, Drew? How you doing? Alright, bike 2. So, Blood Angels successor. Nice. What kind of colour scheme you go for, man? Reset the clock. We are cancelling the apocalypse. Dark teal and dark red. Nice. Very nice, mate. I'm doing my Death Watch in a very dark but still vivid blue and bone. Always like the way bone looks on a model, as like a field, like a color. And we're gonna do patches, so there'll be lots of. Everyone remembers Astartes, yeah, the V's in the middle of their foreheads, stuff like that. We're gonna do things like that. But that might be that they have a helmet stripe down to here that's bone, and then bring that back in the blue, so that it's mixed up a bit. We're not going like wild, crazy freehand for chapter insignias and stuff like that, because they're all from the same chapter or with their own color scheme, done as like an Imperial, Inquisitorial seconded chapter. Think something a little bit like the Minotaurs, where they're kind of just taken by one of the High Lords, but in this case, Inquisitorial. There's got to be other Marine chapters that are very much like that, but I'm not so au fait on the lore. But that's the plan. They're going to look very individual. They've all got Deathwatch shoulder pads on. That shows the Inquisitorial symbol, obviously. But that way I can use them as Deathwatch, I can use them as pretty much anything I want as far as the chapter tactics go. So in the same vein of something like Tabletop Tactics, having the dragons, whatever they're called, something dragons, where you can just play them as anything, it'll be very much like that. And I think for anyone that's looking to start an army, especially someone that wants to eventually end up playing a lot of the game rather than being more of a collector, you should definitely think about doing your own color schemes for stuff. Because a lot of people will have a little bit of a frowny face if you, say, have an army painted as Ultramarines, with all their logos and everything, so they're definitely Ultramarines, not just some boys in blue. And then you rock up to a table and go, today these are my Iron Salamanders. They've got no right to, but it will happen. So to say Blood Rage Unit Ultramarines rules at Warhammer World, yeah, well, No comment. From what I've heard, Bobby G has the chapters controlled by High Lords physically removed if they won't conform. Fair. But Inquisitors literally speak with the voice of the Emperor. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know who the highest authority is in the Imperium, but certainly it always used to be that an Inquisitor literally had the authority of the Emperor. And could do sort of what they wanted, basically. Ultimate get out of jail free card kind of drop. We getting Mohawk cam? Possibly a little bit. High Lords are at the top. So it was or is now? We got conflicting opinion there in chat by the looks of it. Who's the top boy? Is it Big Bobby? Or is it the 12? Your top Inquisitor is a High Lord. Yes, well, I don't know. I think traditionally you'd have the head of the Assassins, the head of the Inquisition, head of the Astra Militarum, head of the Imperial Navy, maybe like some navigator dude, the Adeptus Ministorum. Shit. The only reason I know this is because my virginity's grown back. Oh wait, no, not that. The only reason I know this is that I'm reading The Beast Arises, and I don't know which book I'm on because I'm reading them in I've got like an omnibus. I think I'm on book 3, and there's loads of like high court intrigue. You know, all the like boring-y bits from Game of Thrones that they crammed in. It was all like that. It's basically in this book, but it's 40k, and therefore it's interesting. And that's cool. So, yeah, the High Lords, the table. In this series, at this point in time, and I think it's set in like the mid-30k millennium. So somewhere between 36 and 37. I'm not sure, but I think I've seen a date stamp like that. There are a lot more than 12, and they all kind of piss each other off and like vie for places around the table and so on. And one of the main characters in the book is the head of the Assassins, and he's cool. He's cool AF. You get to see some of the chats he has with some of his assassins, and they're awesome. And you go to the website to find starter Space Marine armies. I already have 10 intercessors. Start collecting Vanguard Marines boxes. Just know what else to add next. AD Lewis, what kind of Marines are you painting, dude? Like, are these just like regular Marines from Space Marine Codex, or are they a particular chapter, or what? In terms of places to buy Marines, certainly if you're based in the UK, I used to say Europe, but obviously Brexit makes it a little bit more difficult. Check out Element Games, !Element for a link. It's an affiliate link, so full disclosure, you'll be helping the channel if you buy something from there. And we use the money that we raise from people using that link to supply prizes for the stream. So, Welcome Dead. You also get it at about 15% discount, so... isn't the top assassin in the Heresy book, which is basically the Dirty Dozen of Assassins? I don't know. Flesh Tearers. Oh, sweet, dude. So you're basically playing Blood Angels. In which case, yes, definitely check out Element. I know that they, like everywhere else, had a bit of a slam on things like Sangard, because Sangard are brutally good. they might have them back in stock by now. I don't know. Get the Highlands of Terror and declare the Imperium would be reorganised and rearmed at his leadership in order to confront the coming threat of chaos. That declares like the Lord Commanding Imperium once more. Fair. The one heresy book I can remember with the Assassins was the Execution Force one, and I fucking loved that book. That was so good. Because you get to see assassin clades that aren't just the normal ones. So you've got like a Calidus, an Eversor, a Vindicare, a Calexus, and then this other one that I can't remember the name of. And he's like this tech assassin. So you'd be in a lift or something and it would malfunction tragically and you plummet to your death. Well, that's him. Or like you'd fall over a balcony and the cameras would fritz, unfortunately, just before it happened. That was him turning the camera off and like... So, there was 6. Fuck, was there? What was the other one? Timmy, it's all good, dude. But they really help. Like, that crystal balance, we tend to sort of build up throughout the year. And then around Christmas, completely purge it down to do a big old restock of the shelves of prizes. They group up to Papa Horus. Yes, because they... Oh, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but seriously, you should read that book. It's so fucking clever. So clever. Well worth it. Everyone goes absolutely nuts about Bowden's work, and they should. He's great. I fucking love his books. But this is one of those like underrated sleepers that everyone should have a go at. Which book? I believe it's called Extermination Force. Or Angel Exterminatus, or something like that. I'm terrible with these things. I remember the book, but not the name. But it's one of the Horus Heresy books with a load of assassins going to take out Horus. And what happens is a storyline that will surprise you. Very much so. Nemesis. Hey, Cole. Thank you, bro. Saving my ass. Yeah, it's a fucking great book. Buddy Minis, what red did you use for the base on this? Mate, we only... In fact, for all of the armor on this guy, I've used literally 3 things, and one of those was for a recess shade. If you want to find out, exclamation point YouTube, and we've done a complete guide on how to paint Blood Angels on there. It's split between there and Patreon, and we used this guy as the basis. Okay? So, all of this is split between those two. All of the red, the power armor, is on YouTube. So all the base stuff over there. All the things like the sword, decals, glazes on cloak, getting the shields and so on. All of that, Patreon. So if you want to see exactly, not just what colors we used, but exactly how to paint the Blood Angels in this style, check out the YouTube channel. Infinite Divine any good? Is that the new... Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of the new Siege of Terror book, but that's not it. What's it about? I tend to wait till everything's released on Audible and I've got a spare credit. Audible is great. If anyone is always like struggling for things to listen to or whatever while painting, I can strongly suggest Audible. That keeps me company. Pretty much every day we sit down to do some proper painting. Because you're not looking up at anything. You just sit and listen. And they've got some free content now as well. So it's obviously not all 40k. But I got I signed up for like an audio series by Darren Brown. And I think he's very, very clever. Love his work. Trying to do a very worn down red for my flesh tears. I'm wondering if just doing a thinner layer to let the black on the coat see through would be at best easiest. No. Because what we'd end up with is something that looks like patchy paint, but not patchy as in it's been battered and worn, but patchy as in you just haven't applied it very well. You have to listen to your wife while you paint. Well, you know, it's pros and cons. So the way to do it is basically to paint it properly and then weather it down. That's it. There's no like shortcut for it. There's just do it properly and weather it. Otherwise, it's going to look like you've painted it badly, not that the paint has been badly treated. And I'm really sorry that that's the answer, but that just is the answer. There are ways of weathering it down that are easy, and we did a video all about weathering using chipping effects and things like that, which is a great way of doing this sort of thing. And I'm reasonably sure that was a YouTube video. Might have been Patreon. Reasonably sure that was a YouTube video. And we used a chipping fluid to basically apply a load of paint and then remove paint afterwards, showing through something from underneath. Every now and again down here you'll see a Space Wolf Dreadnought or a Space Wolf Razorback do the same thing on there. And it's a really, really good technique for creating a chipped, worn, battered look. And it doesn't actually take very long. It's something that you can just do, and it's kind of nice. You have to sort of be a bit careful with it the first time you do it, and then you can be a little bit more rough with it and just get on. But that's a really cool way of doing it, because it's truly random. At that point, you're not going to get any patterns to your paint. You're not going to be painting on battle damage and it look familiar in a few places. Armana, thank you very much for the follow and welcome. But yeah, 100%, you've got to just go full effort for it. Battle damage doesn't take long to do, fortunately. It is easy enough to do in the way that it's not like a difficult process. It's quite straightforward. It's quite simple. It's quite intuitive. But it is occasionally a lengthy process. Lee, what's your red? What's your opinion? Time and a place. Time and place for any technique in painting, mate. It depends entirely on the rest of the miniature and your paint scheme for it. If you've got something that has a lot of blue tones to it, then you could do, if you like a miniature that's very sort of complementary and all kind of flows together. For me, I almost always want massive separation between what I'm doing and something else. So that guy, teal, purple, luminescent green. This guy, blue, red, boom. I want to create these separations. Devastator. Red, green! You know? Let's not talk about hazard stripes. So, I tend to, if I've got a lot of blue going on a miniature, keep my reds really red and use a dark reddish brown. So we use strong tone on these for our recess shades. And as you can see, the red is very red. Very, very red. Timmy, no, I did not. Sorry, bro. Last one I've got is you forgot to use the crystal code. Oh shit, it's there. Warlord Fury God Machine. Ah, I have that. Yes, I have that on Audible. It wasn't bad. I finished it in a day, and unfortunately, it followed one of the Ravener books, and that's a tough act to follow because those are great. Those are so good, and that just kind of a bit Titan Death, I've got that as well. I've listened to that. That's one of the Heresy ones, right? But yeah, other places you can use blue washes over red is when you really, really, really need your recesses to be different to the rest of your mini. Another example, and John did a video on this, John Ninus, this week, is the usage of something called Mother Color, which is just an art thing. Where basically everything you put on a miniature has the same color blended into it somewhere. And it helps to create a very, what's the best word to describe it? A very tight, very controlled palette. So there's very little that is sort of outside a set sort of spectrum. And a lot of people that do painting for competition will use a similar technique to help tie things together and make everything look like it belongs, even when it doesn't. It just helps it just go in. It's not really my thing because my paint style is very high contrast. Like, I want these really dark patches next to really bright patches, and what I really, really want is something like this, for instance, where we've got bright red, bright blue, bright yellow, but they all kind of work in harmony, despite being very separate from one another. And there's definitely ways of doing it, which we teach, we put in videos and so on. Where it doesn't look like everything's too separate, it still looks cohesive, like the miniature belongs together. Like this guy, that's a fucking weird set of colours, but it just works. They wouldn't have the same value. If they had the same value, they'd be plain. So value is light and dark, right? In miniature painting, we use values normally in the sentence of like a value layer. So you take your mini, put a primer on it, and then use white or another light color to build up where the light would be. So if you imagine this was a black and white photo, we'd have light here, here. We have very thin lines of light where we're doing the edge highlights now. And then you apply the red over the top of it. And that's a fine way of painting. In fact, I've got a zombie side set. I'm probably going to paint that way. Because I can do all the value layers with my airbrush, and then my girlfriend and I can just sit there and do some wash painting and get everything done looking passable. Right? The zombie side minis, they're not bad, but they're not like world class. And I don't want to spend 3 weeks painting a set of zombie side. So it's not necessarily they've got the same value when we're talking about a thing like this, because the fact they don't have the same value is what makes everything stand out from each other. Slanesh Donkey, that was one of the Gotrek books. I listened to that. I got a free credit for it on Audible. I was buzzing for it. 8 hours, this book. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Get some fucking Brian Blessed in my ears. I love the old Gotrek books. When he was in the old world, I got up to, I want to say, Zombie Slayer. I don't know if there's much after that, so I need to go and have a look through the series and find out. But I listened to Realm Slayer and was very disappointed when 4 hours in, it ended and it was just interviews. Really getting into it. Ichu! What up, bro? God, Gotrek and Felix, they were absolutely great books. And William King did a brilliant job getting him set up. Realm Slayer, that was the one. Yeah. Anyone got book recommendations? I got 6 credits. Yes, all of Inquisitor Ravener. And I've got the first and the fourth book of Eisenhorn, so I'm waiting for my next 2 credits to get the other 2, and I can just blitz those. But the fucking Ravener books are amazing. Oh, yeah. Really? Not a fan? Damn. I don't understand Age of Sigmar at all. So it throws me a little bit. But I thought it was a good book. It was a good listen. Gotrek needed to be grumpier, is my only thing from it. Ravener is wonderful. I thought it was better. I don't know, even when I read them the first time round, like, Ravener got me more. But I haven't listened to the Eisenhorn series yet. Like I said, I've got the first one, which is Xenos. I've got the last one, which is Magos, because that was up for sale over Christmas, I think. Like, £3? Yep, done. That's 90% off. But I haven't listened to the Eisenhorn set. I have absolutely 100% faith that they will be as good as I remember reading them. I love that Gotrek wouldn't call dwarves Duradin. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, just, they're fucking dwarves. Call them dwarves. But I don't understand Fire Slayers. I don't want to before anyone starts explaining. And if you love Fire Slayers, that's great, bro. You do you. I'll stick to bolt guns and Titans. Yeah. Now I have a Gatling cannon. Ho ho ho, motherfucker. Where'd you get the audiobooks from? Audible. So Audible is like part of Amazon. Sign up for a free trial. They give you a book for free you can listen to. And then away you go. Each year, everyone's asked, but no, it's not part of the commission. We're doing box art Blood Angels. So otherwise, you know me, I would. Gaunt's Ghost. Gaunt's Ghost is a book series that I always wanted to read and never did. And so at some point we will get the audiobooks of Gaunt's Ghosts. But it's Anna Tanith first and only. I want to get those two. Basically anything that Dan Abnett did for Games Workshop is going to be at least decent. Right? I can't think of anything that he's ever written that I've gone, meh, that's a bit shit. everything's been like either, yeah, it was really good, or damn, what was that face? It's supposed to just Ravener. Yes, it is. It's Ravener. Oh shit! It's Ravener, Rogue, and I can't remember what the other one's called. But honestly, mate, I'd happily go back and listen to them again now, and I only finished them maybe 3 weeks ago. I've never had an audiobook make me want to listen to it again, let alone immediately. Don't know what that's all about. Well, I unsub and wait for them to do a special offer or extra free trial. I wouldn't pay full sub price for it. That's fair. Like, for me, I pay £8 a month and I get an audiobook. And that's it. But that audiobook, I'm basically getting for £20 off. And because I listen to it through like the computer while I'm painting, it helps my productivity. Like, I'm not sat here with YouTube going in the background, constantly clicking through videos, or I'm not sat here swearing at a battle report because they've got something wrong. You know, there's, or it's like I'm not watching Netflix, where I'm kind of watching Netflix more than I'm painting a mini. So, Audible is a really, really useful thing for me. I've got a book reader, like another Audible kind of thing that's just installed, because every now and again Humble Bundle do a big like audiobook push. They did one not that long ago, but I ended up not taking it because I had most of the books from it, or they were Sigmar books, which again, because I don't really care about their lore. It's difficult for me to get into it. I've listened to a couple. The last one was something about like Nurgle's Garden and Stormcast and some chick, and that's all I can remember from it. And the book's like 9.5 hours long, and if that's all I got from it as my closing impressions, then it's clearly not for me. But hey, your mileage may vary, right? Jason, how you doing, bro? Yeah, I can literally write Audible off as a business expense as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, that helps my productivity. It means that we paint more. It means that we can do more. It means we can do more commissions. The only downside is I can't. If I'm editing, I cannot put an Audible book on because I don't even hear it. It's just I'm too focused on what I'm doing. So at those points, we put some tunes on, or we'll put I don't know, like Future Armor or something on in the background, so I don't need to listen to acutely. I don't need to pay any attention to, and we can just blast through. What's left of the Blood Angels? Loads, mate. It's mostly highlighting now. In fact, I think it's all highlighting now. So yeah, we've done all the washes. Now it's just highlights. We're doing the bikes, and the red is that there's a lot of red on these. I mean, I know we're on stream time, and so stream time is not the same as real time, and time passes differently in the stream zone. But these are taking about an hour to do each bike. This one we might finish just inside the hour, but there's so much. It normally takes me 15 minutes to do a marine for the highlights. And so that tells you just how much extra work there is on one of these things. Good, just resubbed my Prime, but it's not popped up. Sometimes it takes a while, dude. So honestly, don't worry about it. I can see your sub badge, so thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that, dude. Sometimes if you like refresh your browser, that will be what triggers it. So if you want to see it, then do that. But it'll come. Dickos, hey dude. Amazing Sigmarite armor and weapons. We got a horror one, Castle of Blood. That's pretty good. I've got one that is a horror one that came with this Humble Bundle lot, and I kind of want to say it's Drachenfels, but I know that isn't right because that was an old book. And this is a new one, banded under the Warhammer Horror label. And at some point we'll listen to it, but I just hope it's got if it's a horror book, I kind of want it to have the special effects, like creaking drawer. You know, that kind of thing. Who else here reads? I mean, obviously there's a few. We've just had a conversation for about half an hour or so, chatting about Audible and so on. Glass Joe, welcome back, dude. Are you still streaming? Just come back to witness the devastation that your 20 gift subs happened with earlier on. Madman. Nice. It's got Spears of Emperor novel delivered from Ellen this week. Gonna try into that. I read. I listened rather. When I say read, I usually mean that. To Brothers of the Snake, which is a Dan Abnett one. That was really cool. I like that a lot. I got really annoyed about 20 minutes into listening to it because I thought it was a series of short stories and it wasn't. Thank God. Darkmane, nice. I read the Shannara books when I was a kid. Back when there were only 3, I think. The Sword, the Wish Song. There was another one. Hephaestum, thank you very much for that. I hope I didn't kill your name. I'm like half sure I got that close to right. Castle was the last time when I got with Drachenfels too. Okay, I might have both. Reading it or listening. So I have a book that I read on my phone at all times, because when I go to bed, to help just chill my brain a little bit, then I'll read a book for just a short while. Like 10 to 15 minutes is normally enough for me to relax, and then... Mate, the TV show was crap, but she is so easy on the eyes, right? It's a fucking terrible show, but you're like, kind of don't care. I did really like the sets, though. Like, there's a bit where they're about to go under the bridge, or through a tunnel that's next to the bridge, and you've got all of those like abandoned cars that have been completely grown over, and so on. Stuff like that was just beautiful. Really, really, really well done. But it was utter shite. Yeah. Yeah, just... The acting was so bad, I swear they were reading cue cards off screen. Very much like Days of Our Lives or whatever. Where did the 54 hours come from? I can't tell you, mate. Like I said, stream time and real time work in different ways. You've entered a mythical realm where time functions in an unusual fashion. Occasionally, what feels like only 20 minutes of painting is an entire 22-hour painting marathon. It did not feel like 20 minutes. Oh. That took me days to get over this time around as well. Still unsure as to why. Don't say getting old, because I'm not that much older, for fuck's sake. Like 6 months since the last one, yeah? What happened? This is your dulcet tones for 2.5 whole days. I think it was a lack of nutrition. See, I think if they delivered my pizza the way I ordered it, I'd have been fine, bro. Chili on there, good for metabolism. Gets your heart rate pumping, gets you awake. Getting old. Not as much as Des, though. Yeah, Des ain't going to get much older. He keeps carrying on like that. Son of a bitch. We're gonna. Oh shit! We haven't talked about this yet. We're gonna finish the Necrons off at the end of the month. All right. Last weekend of the month, we'll finish off the Necrons. What we haven't talked about. I can't believe I haven't talked about this. Exclamation point vote in the chat right now, please. For our 2nd birthday, which is the last weekend of April, we are raffling off an army. Now, the community over the last month or so has chosen the army. They've literally written army lists. Okay? This is not one of those giveaways you see on Instagram all the time of, you could win a Battle Force box. Yay! This is you guys write an army list. We'll get it voted on by all of you. I'll buy that army. We'll paint it. And we'll raffle it off. If you voted, you only vote once. That's it. It shouldn't let you vote more than once. So here are the choices. Tyranid Army. Hey! There it is. 2 months now. Many more to come. Love it. Gunbelina? No. We will get everything off the first place list. We will get it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. We'll just do it. This is what the streamers voted for. It's what the stream deserves. Brilliant. So, Nid Battalion. Neurothrope, Old One Eye, 2 little units of warriors, some Rippers, some Zone Thropes, and a Carnifex. Not bad. Thai Battalion. Commander, Fireblade, 2 units of 5 Fire Warriors, 5 Breachers, and all the missile sites. Sally's Vanguard. Adrax, Assault Intercessors, Invicta, 3 Aggressors, Flamers, obs, Ironclad, because it's a big punchy boy with melter guns in his fists, and some Eradicators. Sisters of Battle Vanguard, Canoness, some Sisters, Repentia Superior, 9 Repentia, 5 Celestians, and a Rhino. And a Space Wolves Vanguard with Bjorn, Assault Intercessors, Murder Fang, and 2 Vendreads. Are you going to get Forge World Rippers? Probably. Because why not? They're fucking cool, right? Now, almost all of these lists, depending on how you equip them, Des did the army list for it. I think they come to like 750-ish, up to 1,000 points. The Sisters one actually I think is less. I think the Sisters one's about 500 points. But in first place at the moment, by literally 3 votes, is the Tyranids. Darkmane, we haven't chosen the colour scheme yet. So we might, if the Space Wolves win, it might be like, do you want Space Wolves colour schemes or not Space Wolves colour schemes as the first vote? And if it's Space Wolves colour schemes, then it'll be light grey, dark grey, blue grey. Kind of stuck after that, like, you know. So go and vote. We've got till next Sunday to get our votes in on this. And this is a really important vote. So if you want to be sure that the army you'd like a chance of winning gets chosen, when I make a post about this on Instagram, I need to design some like flyers basically for Insta. When I've made that post with a link to this, share that post and tell everyone, go and vote for Tau, Salamanders, Sisters, Space Wolves, or Tyranids. Your choice. Why does everyone play the same Red Space Marines? Because Red Space Marines go faster. Because Red Space Marines hit harder is basically it. But yeah. Who said Tau? Brilliant. Meta chasers. Not necessarily, but you know what? I'm not going to just say yes to that. I know a lot of people that played Blood Angels for a long time when they had their own codex, and they weren't necessarily like the powerful book. In fact, for a while, they really weren't the powerful book. But now, a lot of Space Marine players are playing a very Blood Angels written list with a different coloured paint job. So, not as hard as Imperial Fist, all equipped with Power Fists. Sure. Except Sandguard hit harder than Imperial Fist armed with Power Fists. So, you know. Nice to see some Blood Angel fans in the audience there. Blood Angels were the first... the first mini I ever painted was a Blood Angel. And it was terrible. And I was 8 years old. And therefore, I don't have a photo of it. Because back then, cameras had film that you had to get developed. And there was no such thing as a cell phone to take selfies on. Which also meant there was no such thing as TikTok or any of those sorts of things, Snapchat and so on. Which meant the world was probably a better place. Question about paint scheme. Say Tyranids win, could I upload a pic to the Discord to have people vote on it? Wamposaurus, absolutely. What we're going to do, whichever army wins, we will be crowdsourcing the paint scheme. Alright? So we'll be getting you guys to vote on it for sure, and we'll need some inspiration. So there's a lot of things that I won't be doing because we've got to paint these guys in a weekend. And so things like the crab, coconut crab, that's not really on the cards. Because whatever army is picked, the quality of paint job matters as much as getting it done in the time, right? No, that's cool, mate. I'm just saying there's some things that we won't do, but basically the end of that sentence was, I will basically take everything else. So here's some blacklisted stuff. We're not doing this. Everything else is good. It meant to us absolutely. And we talk about that a lot. And that's the reason. Exactly that is why I do what I do. Because everything back in the 90s, we'll say, was, well, no, I need to keep my painting secrets a secret so I can win Golden Demon. Bro, you've got no chance of winning Golden Demon. But that was kind of everyone's attitude, and it was dumb. It was harmful for the hobby, that kind of elitism, gatekeeping thing. It's just a no. I know I've been accused of gatekeeping, and I don't believe I do. I just realised I didn't do the eyes on that. I need to do that in a sec. I don't care what your standard of painting is now. What I do care about is that you're trying to be better tomorrow than you were today. And so I'll always push people. But I certainly won't tell people, you can't play with that, it looks like shit. You know, someone's put the effort in, and that's more than some people do. Expect those to be playing Blood Angels for a long time. Not a fan of internet lists or meta chasers. I think most net lists are a terrible way to run an army, because usually with a net list, you get a net list up by winning a tournament, and then people start taking your list. And I've had people literally take my army lists and play those, and they've lost. In fact, I had one guy take my army list to an event that I was also at. I was on table 2. He was on table 37. A net list is a stupid thing to take to an event, because generally speaking, the guy that wrote the list wins the tournament because he knows at least one thing you don't. And that's how he won. You know? I remember at the age of 10 taking photos of my Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles toys. And sort of story with them, got all the photos about them, most are out of focus. Brilliant. When we got a camcorder at home, I made a stop motion video of a He-Man toy I had and a Transformers toy I had. Zebstar, can I get your opinion on painting yellow for Imperial Fist starting a new tournament army? So, okay, Mage Tales, I appreciate. You've got your way of painting yellow. I paint a fuck ton of yellow, and it all goes over black. All goes over black. Somewhere in here, there's an Imperial Fist. And he looks great. He's on a jungle base. He looks banging. It was painted in 3 streams over a black undercoat. And not only was it painted over a black undercoat, it was painted using a shadow coat upwards. There's that chipping effect I was talking about earlier on. Space Wolf Dreads. And you can definitely do yellow over black. Now I use an airbrush. Alright, that, yes, makes my life a lot easier, but that's why I have my way of painting. That guy, the Broodlord there, black undercoat, bright fucking yellow. You can definitely do yellow over black. My method of painting yellow, and Jason, thank you for that host, dude. Absolute superstar. Still haven't heard back from the Path to Partner thing, right? You did an Imperial Fist with inks that was banging. Yes, you had the Terminator. You had the Imperial Fist Terminator we did from the Heroes set. That was pretty banging. It banged. But yeah, yellow over black is easy. You need to put down like an ochre as a kind of base coat. So you'll get your priming done. And then I use a colour called Bogrin Brown from P3. There's a Games Workshop colour that's similar, but it's not in a bash EW, but it's probably just not as good. Chatting to the Adams. Okay. I think theirs is like a Tau name, but I can't remember. But you put down ochre, you mix that up with Flash Gitch yellow, and you keep going until you've got something that looks quite yellow. And this, again, over a black undercoat. Once you've got your yellow looking, what you feel looks yellow, you add white, you paint white over the miniature, so you've got this kind of like weird dark yellow ochre into yellow that gets completely desaturated and blown out by white. Then you come back in and glaze yellow over the top of it, and you end up with this fucking outstanding yellow. All of my Knight's Hazard stripes are done exactly that way, with a finishing touch of coming in with some Troll Slayer orange and just getting the bottom parts of those stripes to really stretch that contrast out. But yellow over a black undercoat. Like, everyone's got their way, and for some people, my way won't work, and for me, some other people's way won't work. But there's definitely a way. And the number of painting awards that are buried up here for those nights is a lot. Malsir, question: if I have never played, I was thinking of Deathwatch Black Templar Space Wolves, but I'm not a fan of that light blue colour on my own chapter idea. Your own chapter, do you have to pick a successor chapter? Nope. Nope. Not at all, mate. You can play absolutely anything. Oh, I see. Nice. Thank you very much. I do something for everyone. Do it. Definitely do it. I don't think I've put anything up on how to paint yellow yet. We've done the reddish red. We've done how to paint white, no airbrush. I haven't done anything on yellow yet. Next night I do. We'll use for that. Robosaurus, chuck it in Discord, mate. But like I said, if it's something... And actually, frankly, don't ever link spiky bits in this chat. Like... Fucking... I'm Robbie Bear, hobby expert. No, you're a prick. I've got a very high estimation of him, as you can tell. What character? General, mate. I'll look tomorrow. Tag me in it and I'll look tomorrow. But it from Pink. Yeah, Pink's a good one. We've done... if I can show you... I can show you. All of these were base-coated black. Sorry, undercoated black. Every single one of these I'm about to show you had a black undercoat, one, two, three. All right. Now these look fun. They look cool. I painted 90 of these and some other characters and things like that. Hey! Crazy Anked. Thank you very much, dude. 11 months. Also, speaking of baby there, somebody, Thick Oz, congratulations, bro. Congratulations. Well, sorry, dude, yeah, it's cool. Honestly, mate, it's fine. Become Dust, thank you for follow. Mage Tales, thank you for the follow as well. Are those which would you suggest to do, maybe? I'm going to do a Deathwatch army myself, because all Marines are in the same book now, so you can play any of them, right? If I do an army that's got Deathwatch models, it means that I can play a Deathwatch army, or I can play a Space Wolves army, or a Blood Angels army, or an Ultramarines army, or whatever. Yeah? And that's my logic. Mentioners, well, you know, we've all got our opinions, and mine is that he's useless. But all of these had a black base coat, right? This one had a pink under highlight. No, this had the scarlet under highlight. I have to look at their arse, basically. Yeah, scarlet. That one was purple, and this one was green. Okay? But every single one of these started off completely like jet black. There's absolutely no reason you can't paint yellow over black. And I painted 90 of those, and I think another 10 to 15 minis in 40-ish hours. So, through the link channel, that'll do, mate. Paint it dark brown, hide everything with white, then bad minute. Yeah, there you go. So you can do it that way too. Like I said, everyone's got their way. You just need to find your way. Let's have a look at this then. God, I can't even see that. It looks like yellow nids with purple bits and green bits. Those are the muff bugs! Except they're painted well. Fuck's sake. Here, let me zoom in on this, right? This is my buddy Muff. That's what his name is Muffton, so his name is Muff. This is what his Tyranids look like. It's just these are painted really, really well in comparison. Like he's got exactly the same color scheme: green skin, yellow for the hard bits, and then purple for the guns. But yeah, we definitely do that. Absolutely, green and yellow, sure. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be several things that will say we're not doing this. But if it's not on the we're not doing it list, then it'll be on the it's okay to do list. At the end of the day, that Tyranid list is 2 characters, then 17 other models, right? So not quite 20 models. Admit that Rippers, you could kind of argue are more than whatever, but you know, doesn't matter. It's okay. We can do a lot of cool shit. And whatever we do, you'll know it's going to be cool. Alright, we're going to celebrate our stream's birthday properly. High Fleet Gorgon, but done well. Could be. The only ones I know, I really like the Behemoth, actually. The blue and red. I think that looks really slick. I like Leviathan, but it is a little dull. It's just, when you first see it, it's like, that's cool. That's cool. Big fan of that. But it very quickly sort of meh. High Fleet Stabilo, which is what we did Dez's Swarmlord in, because Dez, when asked what colour he wanted his Swarmlord painted, which is like, I don't know, like orange or pink or green, something like that. Like, alright, cool, orange, pink and green it is then. And that was when Dez learned to trust me when I said I could make colour combos work. What day's the birthday stream again? It's the last weekend of April, my dude. And certainly, mate, don't worry about trying to get time off work or anything like that. Honestly, man, we will definitely manage. A few character units, chapter specific means, so yeah. So what Deza said is absolutely right. Like personally, the reason I'm taking a Deathwatch army and doing what I want to do with it, rather than it being a Marine army, just a basic Marine army, is I kind of like the shoulder pads. I like the idea of having like the completely two-tone upper body, so the steel arm on the one side, and then like the normal arm on the other side. And I'd feel a bit weird if I took Marines that weren't Deathwatch and played them as Deathwatch. I just would. So from the point of view of, I want to be able to play this army competitively, I want to be able to play it at tournaments, and ideally win first place as well as best painted. You know, that's clearly the goal. We've got an army that is highly competitive, that is powerful, has a big toolbox, So Deathwatch can do some sneaky stuff. And let's get some Xenos codexes in so I can just neuter all their stuff. Crispy Minis, thank you for the follow. Cheers, dude. And Gerbosaurus, thank you as well. High Fleet Stability was the best, do more of those. It was a cool color scheme, man. Like, we worked it. We made that really, really pop. Right. That, again, an hour. Love the Hawk. Cheers, brother. We're going for a full facial stripe, as you can see. Like, this tapers to a point. This is starting to taper to a point. We've got another point growing in here, which is bright silver. So... Okay. With about 10 minutes before we go into the whip gallery... I might need to get another biker done. Oh, they took ages. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? I'm going to do a Patreon video very soon, which I believe I'm going to title 5-Minute Faces. And putting the mohawk and beard forward, then colour your face yellow, pretend to be the bad moon. Yeah, I was waiting. As soon as you said that first part of your sentence, I know where he's going with this. Did my first minute yesterday. Happy with it. Good, dude. It's going to look like the front of the F1 car cockpit. It's great. Could do a sing-along. Could do a sing-along. Yeah. Yeah. Probably not, though. I thought it was more white ink you'd spill. Listen, Des. Just because you're losing your hair doesn't mean you can make hair jokes, alright? Can I post a pick a completed mini from my collection in whip? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's just go into the whip. And let's have a proper go through. Good critiques. So we're starting off with a Drunk Mystic. Exclamation point whip to join in on the Discord. Go and post some pics. 3 or less, we like to keep it to, because I don't want to skip over stuff, and I want to make sure everyone gets their fair shout. All right. Don't forget as well, exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery to find out about this month's giveaways. Oh shit, that's what we haven't done. So we let the Patreon community. You can see some secret Patreon only stuff now. That's video viewer or higher, they get to vote on what's going in the giveaway. And in the giveaway, this time round, do you get to colour your hawk and beard again? I think yellow is looking promising. Hey man, it just doubles in cost every time. It's like £200 now to colour the hawk. We've got Sisters of Battle and Magifier, Ripper Jackson, Mollog the Troll, Lexicon and Varus, that's the Terminator Librarian, the new one, and the Harlequin Shadowseer. I haven't voted yet. My vote goes to split a tie. But the results of this are... Oh, Ripper Jackson. Yes. So, in the giveaway, one of 3 minis, still at the mystery box. The vote just changed, didn't it? Too late. Too late. There you go. The most badass sergeant in all of the guard is in. How do you think Discord and Patreon? Exploding Fruit, you need to link it on Patreon. There's a way you can like sign up with your Discord. If you have and you're not being allowed into those areas, send me a message on Discord and I just assign you the role. So we'll sort you out. There you go. This is one of the 3 miniatures going into the giveaway. I will put another poll up probably by Tuesday or Thursday. That is one expensive model. Really? No. No, she was like 20 quid. This wasn't the Katashan Colonel that's like, you couldn't buy for love nor money. And if we could get one, I'd just give that away as well. Yeah, she was easy to get hold of. No issues whatsoever. We've still got another mini to choose from the Patreon guys. We have the mystery box to set up. But for now, let's whip it out. I think you've got this confused with a different mini, mate. Yeah. This was made to order. The Katachan Colonel, which was the one that either looked like some dude from a video game, Gears of War, or, quite clearly, Dylan. Come on. That one's expensive. I don't even know who this guy from Gears of War is meant to be. It's Dylan. So, Drunk Mystic worked up on my base for my Chimera, ready to promise to finish some Mortisan with my first base using techniques from the Better Bases video. Yes! Get in! So the Better Bases video is simple steps to boost your bases over on YouTube. It's a video I did a couple of weeks back that just showed you my technique for making a base and how you can really nail those down in a very simple way. I'll give you a clue, it doesn't involve dry brushing. There's no dry brush involved at all, in fact. She's $50 a month on eBay. Damn. Well, it's a really good prize this time around, isn't it? Yeah, I like it, dude. Very cool. I don't actually know the mini that's going on it, so I'm struggling to imagine what's going on when it's done. But you're off to a good start. Miss Half Damage, how you doing? Think me Sergeant Johnson from Halo. Listen, lad. I don't know who you think you are. That's Dylan from Predator. Holy shit. Cake Fisk and his Necrons. Look at these. Love that orange, dude. Yeah, big fan of that. Loads of work. Looks like you got about as far with your Necronathon as I did with mine. I did the bases, I think, as well. Right. Johnson from Halo was inspired and voiced by the guy from Aliens. You mean Apone? I love those films. As Sergeant Apone. Down the course, like a day on a farm. Every meal a feast. How was it? Every meal a banquet. Damn it. Having fun with the airbrush? Looks like it, bro. Really nice orange as well. Orange is a really shitty paint. Honestly, orange is really bad. Every formation, a parade. Yes. Yes! Get in. God, I love that film. Such a quality film. But yeah, orange is a really crap paint because the pigment is notoriously weak. Sometimes it's actually better to just mix your own orange than use an orange. It might take more work, but at least you've got good pigment strength behind it. Ready on TV. Love this. Night Armiger Warglaive. Very nice, dude. Base is different. Looks like you've custom made a base. You what we think? That'll do it. That'll help. How to get out of this chicken shit outfit? Hey Vasquez, you've been mistaken for a man? No. Have you? Where's the rim job? Absolutely. But interesting base. Looks like you've either sculpted it yourself or maybe it's like a printed one. But I like it. It's cool. Love that single hazard stripe. The Armiger we gave away recently. We did a single hazard stripe on that sword, and that it's just really nice. I think what you've done here is really good. You've gone with that very heavy metal painting style, boxes around stuff. You've executed it well. Highlights are in the right places. You've got nice little bits of green in there, here and there, just to help showcase some of those bits of detail. I think the only thing this mini is missing, honestly, is to paint the base rim black. If you do, it just tidies it up. I think you've done really well. Yeah, solid work. Very nice. Danny, I'll print you one. Had a bit of fun with the airbrush and got a good chunk of OSL practice done. Okay. Okay. I wouldn't necessarily call this OSL, because a lot of it isn't. What I will say is, okay, I won't say, in fact. Nope. Psychomancer's in the system. But what I will say is that the airbrush work you've got on there is overall pretty good. There's no like big chops and changes in your color. Everything is like smooth, blend through. This is a good start. With regards to your like OSL, you've got very harsh finishes for it. So the scepter top there it just terminates. The little ring you've got, like from his glowing hip joint, again, just sort of finishes. It needs to just dissipate out gradually. I don't know, dude. Hey, I'm giving you feedback so that you know what to do next time. And I appreciate this is your very first go at this technique. So don't take what I've said in a negative way at all. This is about on par, and I rather unfortunately mean this. It's about on par with what some painting studios have done as OSL. If I just OSL everything with an airbrush, I don't need to use brushed highlights, do I? Woohoo! Come on, guys, you're giving us all the bad name. But I like it. Lovely colour scheme, mate. And it has disappeared, so I imagine we're getting that issue. But, you know. Lulu. Been a while since I did any hobby, but over the last 2 nights, I've built this tank and started to work on painting it, slowly realizing just how many edges I'm going to have to highlight. Honestly, mate, don't worry. Because like I said, the Impulsor took me an hour to do. Took me an hour to do one of those bikes. I thought we'd smash through all the bikes and maybe the Assault Intercessors tonight on stream. No. I've got a lot of highlighting red to do tomorrow. This is cool. This is cool. This is not Imperial Fists, or... So I know that you have an Imperial Fist army. I see bits of yellow. Hey. Getting their magnets in. Liking it. Very heavy metal style, that is, mate. Feel your pain and just finished Repulsor Execution. There's so many edges. Yeah. There's a lot of rivets too. See, this is why I don't paint in the heavy metal style. Drawing boxes around literally everything, I find so dull. Pick where those highlights need to go, and then just get the ones that are necessary. For me, highlights are something that should only be in the places that they make sense, or in the places that you absolutely need it to define some detail. But again, you've taken a style and you've done really, really well with it. All of those highlights, very thin, very clean. Your execution, spot on. Except you need to do something with those fucking gun barrels, mate. because, forgive me, but they look like you've painted them lead belcher, washed them with Nuln Oil, and dry rushed them with something else. Exactly like a shark, Toonie Spruce. And they look naff in comparison to the rest of your tank. Everything you've got there looks glossy because of the brighter surround that you've put on there with your edge highlighting. And the bit that's actually metal, you'd expect to be shinier because it's bare metal, is darker and dull. To be honest, I hate painting barrels like this. I really do. Because you just go in with like one strip highlight and hope it's in the right place. Usually that's kind of what you've got to do. It's not ideal, but should I matte varnish everything at the end? So I do. I prefer a matte finish though. Yeah, I want the highlights to only show up where I've put them, and that's it. I don't want a different room to make the model look different. So for me, I say yes. But what you might want to do is matte varnish it before you do your metallic highlights. So or that, or redo it. Yeah. Because that way you get that extra bit of shine from it if you want to. Again though, solid execution. The barrels, they're just shit to paint in general, mate. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But well done. At least you're doing some hobby. Alright? At least you're doing some hobby. Alright, Jay Battleworth. Update on my Emperor Spears Primaris Vanguard vet. I've had a bash at doing some wave splashes on my base. Let's have a look at this. Dude. Definitely looks like waves. Wow, nice job. Is this like Vallejo heavy gel or something else? What have you done here? Talk us through it, man. Tell me about it. I do like this. This needs a little work, and I'll explain why in a sec, but what you've done is really, really solid. Really solid. Let's just open this one. I used green stuff for UV resin and so some cotton wool to shape it better. Ah, right, I see. Now I understand. I also understand now why it's run down onto the side, because the heavy gel you kind of paint on. Okay, I'm with you. Right, here, this bit needs some work, and I don't know exactly how to fix this, but the reason I say this needs some work is because you've gone from a very, like, almost royal blue to white grey, except there's been no transition. There's nothing else there. So I think you need to find a way of getting some like spray, some foam on the top of the water next to the wave to help bring the two together. Now I have seen people do this with a sponge and some white paint. I remember I watched a enormous water pour being done, loads of waves, and I mean enormous. We're like 4 foot square, I think. Big rocks, and then massive waves coming up it, right? And they were done using like cling film or saran wrap if you're from the US, and then painting that with some gel and then peeling it off and like popping them in place and so on. And the way they did their spray, their foam, was with a sponge and some white. You need the white to be thick though, so that, like, not like emulsion, obviously, but don't use white ink, use white paint, and ideally don't use a GW white. Pro Acryl white is good, P3 Moro white is good, Vallejo white is good. Try one of those three, right? The other thing he did in this, which I absolutely lost my shit over, I thought this was immensely good. Yeah, actually heavy body acrylic, so like out of a tube. So some actual titanium white would be fine. He took some lengths of fishing twine, like some pretty like high gauge stuff. So you could sort of cut a length and hold it, and it would stick up. And then he glued some micro glass beads to one end of this stuff, and then glued the other bit onto the waves. So it looked like as the wave had like rushed up, hit this massive rock that he'd built, and come up, and then these little droplets of water had fired off out of the wave. Now, if you overdo it, it's going to look terrible. It's going to look like you stood in the fountain outside the MGM Grand or whatever. But if you just do a couple, that's another dimension you can add to your base. It just gives it that bit of height, that sensation of motion. So yeah, good job. Little bit of a fix to do on this, I think. But I really like it. It's solid. I love the fact that you've like got something new. Unit White is the biggest paint atrocity that's ever existed. No, it's not. But you're very close. Games Workshop used to do a paint. Chris will know this one. And he probably made the same mistake I did as well and bought it by mistake. But you only made that mistake once. GW used to make a paint called Smelly Primer. You remember that one? And the fuckers would put it, you'd have your racks of paint, which inevitably the staff had tried to fill up with the label forward, and every time someone pulls a paint, it spins it, so you don't always get the labels there. But Smelly Primer was like an even thinner, more useless version of their white paint, and it was right next to Skull White. And so if you were in a hurry, you're like, I need some white paint, rush in, pull the wrong white paint and buy it. It had the same consistency of white ink and about the same staying power as your miniature as semi-skimmed milk. That's the biggest paint atrocity I've ever seen. Right, Exploding Fruit. You are currently showing as a video viewer, so you should be in the right place. Cut out his belly and sculpted guts like I said I would. Oh, nice. Sausages. Good work, brother. Good work. Do like a bit of barbed wire on the base as well. Pro tip, the Green Stuff World UV drying resin is one of the best ways to put that on the base. There's a couple of little dots where it meets the base. Get your flashlight out on there, sorted. No fucking about with super glue, it's just welded to that base. But nice, dude. Looking forward to seeing you getting this painted up. We didn't get to paint ours. He's still in the pile of unlimited potential as a potential giveaway. 5 seconds the job with the UV resin. Yeah, absolutely. And it's never coming off either unless you really pull it off, you know? So, here we go. Marcel hadn't... Alright. We saw this in the whip on yesterday's stream. My suggestion was you could try and fix it with a pin. If that doesn't work, then jam a pin in it anyway. Take some green stuff. Make a nice thin strip of it, and then wind it round afterwards like it's either a bandage or a leather strap, like ankle support, that kind of thing. In the story, but obviously it's working as that kind of thing exactly in the physical reality of the situation. So hopefully you can mend it. But this looks like a really, really shit set of brakes. Toonish Bruce, we're both too old to watch cartoons. Alright? If you want to take the piss one way, it goes both ways. Now shut up and tidy your room. All signs point to fail, right? But good luck, dude. Good luck. It's heartbreaking seeing stuff like that. Right. Yeah, you said you're going to do the bottoms with the thick mud. That works. But you're going to wait for it to really dry. So I've just found like dot, 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 bam, done. They're so fine, pin wouldn't work. I will challenge you on that. Because after accidentally breaking the end off the Eldar Ranger from Blackstone Fortress's sniper rifle, I got a pin in that. And that is millimeters across. Like 1 or 2. But what I used was picture wire. I separated some threads out. And I pinned it with that. Then I wrapped a very thin layer of green stuff around it and sanded that down flush. So there's if I can pin something that's about the same width as like the rod that people might use to pin something with, then you can definitely do that ankle. But it's, I mean, to say it's fiddly as fuck is an understatement. It really is. Maybe as an actual pin, use an actual pin. So, like you'd use for sewing or whatever, like needlework, that kind of thing. Because you will get those that are really fine and run on a piece of paper clip with like a lumpy bit of metal. Bounced Arms. Peace, dude. But good luck either way. Alright, Crazy Axe, still quite a whip. Need to do a lot of glazing on his weapon. I still have his giant shield, giant base, and 4 homies to go. Challenging myself by not using washes, contrast, and metal colours. Wish me luck. You're doing well, dude. We looked at your red the other day, and it's come out very, very nicely. Definitely more glazing on the weapon. Definitely. Totally right there. It's a little bit sketchy still, but you can smooth that, no problem. Nice work though. Your value layer on it looks great. Love those contrasts. Solid bit of work. I think his face needs something. His face kind of mushes together a little bit. So that needs either some shadows just brought in. He's got these weird like dimples in his top of his cheekbones. So maybe darken those down a little bit to help accentuate this a bit more. Not sure. Nice bit of non-metallic gold. That looks pretty sick. The gem in the middle of his chest, good start on that. I think you need to do a little bit more blending and just sort of fade that in and out a bit. Red is good. Red is really good. Overall, I like the colours that you've used. The sort of... It's not so much a bone colour, but more one of those, like... No, I suppose it is a bone colour. But you know when you see like a dinosaur skeleton or something at a museum, and it's that really weird kind of green hue to it. It's green based, yeah. There you go. Jason, no worries, dude. Take care. Yeah, I really like it. It helps it pop off against the red as well. Nice. Very nice. Trying to remember what else this mini's got. I know it's like a little diorama base. It's like him and like a quart of them. What is that on his back? Okay. That's quite cool. Yeah, I like that. The metal helmet he's got there, just push the highlights up a little bit, mate. At least I assume that's a metal helmet. I mean, going back to the front of him. Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, just push that to about the same as the weapon. Maybe just like 1 or 2 values lower. But I think that could do an extra little bit of pop on it. Your red might need a little texture in there. or just some ultra fine highlights just here and there, because you've done a very, very good job of it, and from this angle it looks fantastic. Got these really dark shadows, and then you've got these really nice full-on areas of red. But from this, because we're not getting that angle in there, you've got this kind of the bug backpack thing that he's got. Just to the left of that, there's just this swath of red that's got nothing happening. You could really push yourself in freehand, but this is a complicated space to do it in, because there's lots of rise and fall of that cloak. But it's an option. You could do some more damage. It's clearly worn. Fray it a little bit. There's things that you can definitely add to it. Good luck, dude. It's looking good so far. Right, Santi. Yes, this. I'm liking this. Went a bit further on allowing some eyeshadow, sepia, and white glazes. Also tried bringing out more of the highs and darkening the lows on the cape. Still kind of satin because of the inks. Right, the rim of that shield. After the feedback we gave you on Saturday, you have absolutely fucking slayed it. That looks so much more like metal now than it did before. You have done a great job. The lion, I saw a picture of this yesterday evening, I think. I like it a little bit more now. You've got a few more areas of dark next to light. Have done 2 different lens saturations. Cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan of what you're doing here. It's really working for you, mate. Keep it up. Like, look at that. That is spot on. Absolutely spot on. It's okay, dude. I read yours and thought, hang on, has he changed his name on thing? Then I read Polly's line. I'm like, got it. No, really, really well done, bro. Really, I mean that. Super solid work. Malsir, hopefully your repair will work. Well, fingers crossed, mate. She's on there. Nice. Nice. It's going to be very fragile, so just let that cure completely. But good work, mate. I'm glad you got it sorted out. Anytime something like that happens, it's just absolutely soul crushing. So awesome, dude. Let us know how you get on. And if it's public voting, give us a link, yeah? I'm not saying I'm going to vote for yours, but if it's the best, we'll tick that box. Wamposaurus. Hey, here we go. Here's that Tyranid scheme you was talking about. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. Brown to yellow, no issue. Green. Green's always a fun colour to paint. But this is what my friend James and his muff bugs look like. So I'd be very happy to paint them in his scheme. He's got something like 130,000 points of nids. It's the most insane fucking collection of plastic crack. Yeah, that's good, dude. Oh. Look at those teeth. That guy's been chowing down on like bags of Whatsits. Cheetos for the Americans in the stream. But they're cool. They're cool. Well done. Right, Landorus. It's got 2 lens. I've done 2 different lens saturations. Amount of basic skills, but mostly playing with troops before nicer characters. Lots of no or gloss and bad lighting. Then you want a satin varnish spray to end somewhere in between. Okay. Right, let's have a look. I need to see your highlights on this before giving too much feedback, because I almost think the Nuln Oil is too dark, and the reason I think that might be because you've used the gloss. So the shinier something is, when it's in a recess frequently, the darker it can be. I've used like legit oils on miniatures before, and we did it in a How to Paint Dark Angels video, which might be worth a watch. That's on YouTube. In our How to Paint Blood Angels video on YouTube, we used just an acrylic wash for doing recesses, which is what you've got here, and hit it with a matte varnish at the end takes some of the power away. But the thing about that is you've only got all the highlights in by then as well to be able to work out exactly where you want that finish to be. So my first question, I guess, is when you're going to do your highlights, are you doing them in the sort of heavy metal style Games Workshop scheme, or are you doing something a little bit more stylized like I do here? What's your plan? Third bits. Okay, cool. We'll skip that one sec. Okay. So, very much heavy metal style all over. Alright. Did you put the non-oil gloss over the entirety of the armor panels? Because that's what it looks like here. Yeah, okay, I thought so. So, my suggestion is that you don't do that moving forward, and just paint it into the recesses. It's called recess shading or pin washing quite frequently. And using a synthetic brush can really help with this because it doesn't pick up as much paint, therefore can't deposit as much paint. And you can just sort of bash through your recess shades relatively swiftly. Ladders, I wouldn't worry about it for this squad, but for the next unit you paint, just try it the other way and see what you think, right? And if you sort of get halfway through and go, no, this looks, I don't like this way this looks, then just slap it all over. But give it a shot that way first. And the reason I'm suggesting that is because it retains the colours on your armour panels. When you've put this black over, now, on the screen now, your mini is much bigger than it would be in real life, but we're going to be a little bit cruel. And we'll zoom into it. In fact, let's zoom in. So you'll never see your mini in this much detail, like in the flesh, right? The reason I'm doing this is I want you to have a look at the armor panel. So you see there's a lot of imperfections on the armor panel itself, and that's to do with the different thicknesses of your wash where it's dried on there. For large flat areas like power armor, certainly tanks, I think this is a very bad finish to have. For things like cloth, fur, to some degree skin, it can be okay. It can even be desirable, in fact. But for your Marines, what I would always do is just hit those panel lines rather than this to keep everything looking nice and fresh. If you want to then make it look dirty, you basically do that after the mini is painted. You put this like patina of mud and gunk and shit basically all over the mini, and there's videos that we've done on that. That one would be that one was a YouTube video. No, that one was a Patreon video. Like weathering and grime basically. But check out the How to Paint Dark Angels and How to Paint Blood Angels videos that we've done up on YouTube. That'll show you the technique behind the pin washing. It'll show you my technique around highlighting as well. And it'll be a little bit different to the way that Games Workshop will sort of show you on their boxes. I've got very different style to the way that they paint. However, all that being said, I think you've done an overall pretty good job. Your highlights, where they've been applied, are tidy. Your details that you've blocked in here are tidy. You know, this is definitely good. Said you've got basic skills. You're using all of those skills. I can see that. You know, don't worry. Keep it up. Keep painting. Keep having fun. Heavy Metal's trials for troops to get used to painting and more your nice ones for characters. Cool. Give it a go. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. Also, Orcrist sneaks in here. How you doing? Miss half damage. Having trouble getting it white enough while maintaining contrast. So... yeah, it's tough on this. Because the whole thing is one colour. Try just the pinions. So like the bony bit down the middle. Let's see. You don't want to shade that any more than you have. And I really like what you've done with the shade as well by adding in that slightly sort of purple tone to it. On each one of those individual feathers, there are some prominent sculpted details. So maybe just try hitting those with a lighter colour. And then also do the pinions one step further up than that. My thinking behind that is that you'd end up with more of the brighter colour, but you still have enough of like your mid-tone, main tone that you've got now, that it wouldn't completely shift it. If that doesn't work, then you could try taking the recess shades you've got there and dropping that in either side of the feather, like the pinion bone. And there's some of the recesses on the feathers, but I think that's... I think if you did that, the amount of work you'd then have to do re-brightening everything around it would be too much. Yeah, it's a real tough one. What's it look like on the Mini? Like, are you happy? Because in isolation, this against a white background, when we're looking for shades of basically like bone white, it's going to be very difficult to pull out. But against the Mini, are you happy with it there? Yeah, Polly, you're exactly right, yeah? So getting that bone down the middle, that can be the brightest part of it. The bottom of each feather can be brighter at the point than anything else. Still too beige, doesn't look angelic. Looks white next to the Mini, but not enough. Okay, give that a shot then. And what was your base coat? Was it like a bright bone, or... Because the other option you've got is that you paint it grey and go up from there. Another one that you could do, you could get like a little stencil and just like cut a V, place it around each feather, and then just like quickly like whip up a highlight with the airbrush. I know you're painting this miniature as a way to get used to airbrushing and try out some techniques with it that you wouldn't normally do. So that's an option. It's a tough one. It's always tough when you're working with a very, very small margin of error, and frankly, quite a small margin for boosting a colour. You've gone from what's already a very, very, very pale colour into something you're going to have no saturation with whatsoever. And if you're not careful, that will desaturate the entirety of the element rather than just like the part you want that highlight. But good luck. Good luck. Try the pinions. Try highlighting the individual like hairs in the feather towards the lowest part. But be real careful with it. Let's give yourself a challenge. You definitely do. You definitely do. Right, Mikey Mike. Working on some Reavers. Took a break from painting to build some Hellblasters. I bought Oreo Ventry this weekend as well. Nice, dude. I thought about doing it as a giveaway, and then I decided I really didn't want to. I don't like his head. Even after they've redone it, I don't really like it. You've definitely got the boys in blue. You go yellow shoulder pad? No, it is gold. I thought you'd gone like full old school yellow pads then. Bro. Yeah, looking good, man. Again, we've got lots of the sort of more heavy metal painting style. Lots of crisp highlights going on. If you wanted to, you could go back in with a second highlight on some of that and just get like the corners of stuff. But it's up to you. You've got quite a lot of divots on their backpacks. I'm guessing that's getting them off the sprue. There's been a little bit of damage. Don't be afraid to just get a little highlight on the underside of that. Help it look a little bit more 3D than it already is, and pass it off as battle damage. If you try and pretend it's not there, then everyone can see it. But by just sort of knocking that extra little bit of damage in there, it works fine. Let's look at these Hellblasters. Oh, you're going with a heavy Hellblaster as well. Nice. I think these look the coolest. It's just a shame that I think they're also the worst on the table. But definitely these look the business. These are the best kind of bee keys. Decapitated bee keys. Brilliant. Brilliant. What about this one? Dismembered bee keys. Down at the bottom, yeah? Second best. And there he is. Uriel Ventress. It's a weird mini. It really is. But if you're an Ultramarines player, like, do it. I actually really like this character in the books. I read the books when there was only 3. And now there's 7? So we've got some more reading to do. Definitely. I actually quite like them. I think he plays a really good character. I think it's relatively well written. Was it Graham McNeil? So yeah, solid stuff. I just can't get behind that mini. Me bad, 2 images. Ah, you're good, don't worry. What's that on the base? Oh, it's like little flock bushes, that kind of thing, right? I'm gonna get him painted as first company. Nice. Reading him now, that's why I bought him. Totally understand that. Ventress, the official dirt model of G-Dubs. Is he a Primaris Lieutenant? Like, how far does the meme go? I don't think he is. So this clean up, but I'm trying hard to resist not doing brushwork. Okay. Oh wait, you're just... Wow, that's brave. Okay. Interesting job done on the bases. I actually bizarrely like the big lump of white rock you've got there. Normally I'd say get that off the base, but honestly I think it really works. Yeah, solid. You do need to tidy those base rims up though. No one likes a shitty rim job, okay? So gotta just get in there and tidy them up. MC, have you just changed your username? Okay. Also, good work on Instagram, by the way. Yes, I saw the original face. You know, it did not look good. All right, Timmy Sprues just gloss varnished it for pin washing. It's finally on the base. Yeah, boy. Were you not working on this when you first subscribed to the channel? all of fucking 11 months ago. I swear one of the first interactions I had with you was your brother had knocked it off a shelf and you were working on the base and trying to repair it. Nice, dude. Nice. I saw his stuff. I'm like, I really recognize that. Yeah, good work. Double tap. Nice though, man. I'm glad to see there's some actual work being done on this guy. He's looking good. Got plenty of work to do. Get it on, man. Get to it. Crownblade. Hey, here we go. We got these guys again. The bases are different. Did you do anything with the skin? I think last time... Flickster! Hey, bro. How you doing? Got Flickster raid coming in hard here in the stream. We got Maka, Holtz, Transistor, Sarabeth, Merlin Daitani, thank you for the follow. Reiner is here. Long time no see, bro. How you doing? You got given a sub earlier on, by the way, mate. Oh yeah, yeah. Message me on Discord, MC. I need to pop your meets together. Cheers, Des. Well done. Rhiannon, Sarabeth, thank you guys for the follow. Wing Paint for the follow as well. The raid begins. The raid is definitely here. It is definitely here. We're going through the work in progress gallery at the moment. We're going to sort of close out the stream. So if you guys don't mind, we will take your raid and we'll combine it with my own raid soon, and we will double punch into somebody else. Flick, I'm good, dude. How is your stream? What were you up to today? What was on your channel? Health and Safety Hobo. That is a fucking great name. You are a legend. That is a fantastic name. Gargantuella, how you doing? Love it. Absolutely love it. Health and Safety Hobo. For some reason, Crownblade, the image quality is coming up really pixelated. I can't see anything texture-wise at all. But I know you've worked on it. You said you've worked on it. You know. Hopefully we can get something a little bit more crisp next time. Last one, Timmy Sprues. Also bought this tonight. Don't know if I can still use the old one, but it looked cool in group shot. Yes, you can, but probably not at a tournament. They'd probably say, like, nah. I feel that might be the case. Wanted to return the favour, etc. Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good. I really appreciate it. So thank you to everyone that came in. What were you up to? You said Speed Paint Sundays. All right, I like that. I like that. I kind of went the other way. So we've got Blood Angels commission we've been working on for a while. We're nearly closing it out. This is the Impulse that we painted as part of it, and there's a guide up on Patreon now, how to paint marine tanks, using this as a bit of reference material. And you can use that guide for basically how to paint any kind of marine vehicle. But the only reason I've shown you this is because to get all of the highlights done on the red for this took an hour. So just the edge highlights, 1 hour. Which is exactly how long it took me to do the edge highlights on this. The fuck? Just I mean, come on! So, yeah, we basically slowed right down today. So annoying. So annoying. Is what it is, though, right? Did some Derpy Blood Bowl minis. Nice. The last Blood Bowl stuff I did was my Undead team. Not the new one, the Necromantic Undead, the old one, like mummies, skeletons, zombies. I was like, right, I've got 8 hours to paint this entire team. That's it. And they look great. They look fine. I look at them and like, I did this as a speed paint, so they, but they look They look okay. Landorus! Mate. Thank you very, very much. You did the Minotaur. Oh, shit, you're right. We did. We did a Blood Bowl Minotaur as part of our Pro Acryl, like, road test, basically. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Right, let's go find somebody to raid. It is midnight. It is time to finish. Huge thanks to Flickstone. If you guys that were here already weren't following this guy, then you really need to. He is a great artist, and he's a very entertaining streamer as well. We have a lot of laughs when he comes here, so you can just imagine what it's like when he can actually talk and doesn't need to type. Had to say it twice, clearly. Shut this dude up. Right, where shall we go? Is Glass Joe still streaming? So I said we'd rate him. There he is. Right. I said we'd rate this guy. So this is where we're going. He's a fantastic community member. And earlier on today, threw 20 gifts up just straight in the chat. So when we get there, give this guy some hype. Alright? Spam the emotes. All of the emotes. Meat faces everywhere. Reiner, I miss you, bro. Speak to you soon. We will see you on the next stream, which is tomorrow night's Hellstorm stream at 6 PM with myself and Mikey. And then it'll be Tuesday night live at 9 right here. Peace, everyone.